Hi boys and girls, it's Tuesday the 2nd of March today, and today we're going to be working on a little bit more of our measuring of length using a ruler, similar to what we did yesterday. So the reason we're going to do that is so we can draw things accurately. We're going to use a ruler, we're going to use our top tips, we're going to be measuring in millimetres and centimetres today. But before we do anything, I wonder if you could do a little warm-up for me. So have a look at all of these numbers here. I want to pick a few of them. What I want you to do, multiply them by 10. If you want to have a little challenge, give yourself 4 minutes, get a stopwatch, time yourself, how quickly can you multiply these numbers? Pause the video here, have a go. Great stuff, guys. Could you multiply each of these numbers by 10? There were a few in there which might be a little bit of a challenge. 7 times 10, sorry, 70. 5 times 10 is 50, 10 tens are 100, 2 tens are 20, 3 tens are 30, 9 tens are 90, 1 times 10 is 10, 8 tens are 80, 4 tens are 40, 11 tens. Now 11 tens is 1 10 more than 10 tens. I think that's 110. 13 times 10, 130. 19 times 10, 190. And 21 multiplied by 10, 210. How did you get on, boys and girls? Could you manage to multiply by 10? You're doing a great job. Keep it up. So, I want you to think about our measuring. Here are our different tools. We've got a meter stick here. We've got a ruler that we might use in class. We've got a long tape measure. Now then, what I'd like you to do, think about which tool you'd use to measure these things. We've got a playground, a pencil, a table, or a toenail. Pause the video, have a little think, have a little discussion at home. What would you use and why? Brilliant stuff, boys and girls. So, to measure the playground, you could do it with a meter stick, but you might need a lot of meter sticks. So I'd probably use a tape measure like this because it can be wrung out quite a long way, okay? If I was going to measure a pencil, it might be a bit clumsy using a meter stick and a tape measure, so I'd probably use a ruler. And if I was going to measure a table, probably a meter stick, similar to if I was going to measure a door or a person, use a meter stick. If I was going to measure a toenail, probably use a little ruler as well. Okay, so it's really important that when we're measuring things that we use the correct tool. Okay, otherwise we might find it a little bit more challenging and a little bit difficult. All right. Okay, so these tools measure in different things, and let's have a look at what they do measure in. Okay, meters. That's what a meter stick would measure in, and what a tape measure would measure in. And that's classed, we write that with an M, okay? It's like shorthand. Centimetres, we'd write cm, and millimetres, we'd write mm. So rulers, usually you'd find they measure centimetres and millimetres. Sometimes you might get the odd one which measure inches. Meter sticks would measure in metres and centimetres. And our tape measure would measure in metres and centimetres, okay? Okay. Now then, what I want you to do at home, hopefully you've got a ruler. On the website, I have scanned in a ruler, which is to scale, which means it's the right size. But if you need to print that off and cut out, you can, and that'll help you with your measuring today. So, I wonder if you can remember how we used the ruler from yesterday. What are our top tips, okay? And what I'm going to get you to do is to think about how we do our measuring. So have a little look at this picture here and think about what does Mr. Cottle need to do in order to measure it. If I want to measure the red line, what would I need to do? Okay, have a little think. Can you remember the top tips from yesterday? Okay, let's see. Number 1, I need to line my ruler up. Number 2, I need to start at 0. Number 3, I need to look along the edge of the ruler, and then I read my measurement from the stop point. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see nice and clearly. So I want to measure the red line. Now then, if I want to measure like that, I can't do it because the line here is not matched up with the edge of my ruler. So when we're measuring at home, it's really important that we move the ruler so it's in line with the line. Hopefully I can do that here. Good, lovely. So that looks about in line there, good. Again, my ruler is measuring in centimetres, and remember, in between each centimetre here, this big jump, there are 10 little lines. Can you remember what they're called? Shout out at the screen. That's right, they're called millimetres. So these tiny little lines in between are millimetres. We've got centimetre here, big jump, tiny little lines, millimetres. So I started at 0. I've lined up my ruler, and I'm going to stop at the end. Now then, we're going to start getting a little bit more accurate with our measuring. Okay, so if I want to, I can say to the nearest centimetre, it is 10 centimetres. And I would write my answer like that if that's the line I was measuring. I'd say it's 10 centimetres. If we're looking at millimetres, okay, I'm going to count in tens. Remember, the reason I count in tens, for each centimetre, 10 millimetres. I count in tens, otherwise I'd be counting each millimetre all the way up to 10, and that'd be quite a lot. So I'm just going to count in tens. 10 millimetres, 20 millimetres, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 millimetres. Okay. Now then, you might be thinking, Mr. Cotter, but you like to be really accurate with your measuring. And I can see that the line goes past 10 centimetres. So let's zoom right in and let's see if we can make a really accurate amount. Let's see. Zoom in. 300. Okay, good. Ooh, we can see that it's just past 10 centimetres. If 10 centimetres is the same as 100 millimetres, it's 1 millimetre more. 100. 1 more millimetre is 101 millimetres. We can write that like this. 101 millimetres. Okay. Well done, boys and girls. You're doing a great job. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to demonstrate how to measure again. Okay, I'm going to go through it. And I'll show you the ways which you can write your measurements. Okay. And then at home, I want you to follow me first at home. I want you to ask an adult at home for them to draw you a straight line with a ruler that's between 5 centimetres and 10 centimetres long. I want you to see if you can have a go at measuring it and see if you can follow our top tips. All right, so I'll zoom in again. I'll write the top tips down, then I want you to have a go at home. All right, so if I'm going to measure this line, I need to start at 0. And in fact, I'm going to start with my centimetres. Start with cm. I'm going to start at 0 and place my ruler where 0 starts at the beginning of our line. I'm going to line my ruler up. Then I'm going to look along and stop at the end. Look and see. Just see. Started with 0, lined up, using centimetres, look and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've definitely got 4 centimetres, and I've actually gone to half. So I've got 4 1/2 centimetres. I could write that like this, 4.5 centimetres, like that, because my line is halfway between 4 centimetres and 5. If I want to zoom in a little bit more, and I want to think about millimetres now, I can see that, let's remind ourselves, there's 10 millimetres in every centimetre. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40. If I count the little lines now, I stop before the end of my line, stop at the centimetres, or 40 millimetres, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. I could say that's 40. Let's change the colour. I can say that's 45 millimetres. Okay. So what I want you to do at home is ask an adult to draw a straight line between 5 centimetres and 10 centimetres long. See if you can measure it. And see if you can measure it in millimetres, okay? So remember, each centimetre is measured, is the same as 10 millimetres. Stop before you get to the end, okay? And then count the rest on in millimetres. Count in tens if you need to, okay? Have a go at home, see how you get on. Well done. How did you get on at home? Did your adult help you with drawing a line and measuring it? I'm sure you're doing a really, really great job. All right. Today you are going to need a ruler or a tape measure or something to measure lines. All right. Now what I've done on the website is I've scanned in a ruler so it's the right size, so you get the right measurements. All right. What you can do is you can print it off and cut it out if you don't have one at home. All right. And there are 3 tasks which you can complete. A is for mild, B is for spicy, C is for hot. Okay. And I want you to choose a task that gives you enough challenge. All right. I want you to measure the lines, and then I want you to write the measurements in millimetres, okay? Here's an example. Example A. There is a line. I've measured it with my ruler, and the answer is 76 millimetres. If this is a little bit challenging or a bit too much, I want you to work on the nearest centimetre instead. So, if it's 76 millimetres, the end of my line is closer to that centimetre, to 8 centimetre, than 7. So I'd say it's closest to 8 centimetres, all right? But this is only if this is a little bit too challenging for you. So have a go with the rulers, see if you can measure the lines, all right? Well done, boys and girls. You're doing a really good job. Keep it up.